Everybody, this is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You are watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is a bit of an experiment tonight. This is Star Wars Saturdays, an ongoing anthology campaign that I have been running for, well, since December of 2017. So if you're watching this in 2050, I'm way dead, but there's lots of content there for you. This month in April of 2020, as we all spend lots of time alone in our homes, I have worked with William Nichols to hack together two amazing games, and that's what we're going to be playing today. So the Apocalypse World 2nd edition received a hack book from Vincent and Meg Baker called Burned Over. That was released as a result of the 2019 Kickstarter Zine Quest. The hack book is like an overlay over Apocalypse World. This is a whole lot of history, but I'm gonna get quicker on it, I promise. This hack book makes some fundamental changes that delight me in a lot of ways. I wanted to play Star Wars with it, and I actually ran Apocalypse World Burned Over as is, playbooks and everything during the month of March, and it's quite good. Like, it really slots in well. However, there's a hack, an older hack of just basic Apocalypse World called Star Wars World, which has some really cool ideas and Jedi playbooks and all that cool stuff. So William and I sat down and we kind of mushed those things together, the peanut butter, the chocolate, combine those together. And unrelated, but I'm a little sad to say that that's an exciting analogy for me, but my son's allergic to peanuts. He will never know the joy of a Reese cup. I mean,
they will cure it at some point. It's fine.
I hope so, because he needs to know it's never going to be as good as he thinks it is, but it's still good, especially the dark Reese Cup Dark. Oh, good. So I'm calling this Burned Over Star Wars World. And Burned Over Star Wars World has one Jedi playbook, has a bunch of other cool playbooks like the Noble, the Scoundrel, the X-Trooper, the Medic, and a lot of the playbooks look almost exactly like their counterpart versions from Burned Over. Others have wholly new moves that were created by William and myself. So these guys, these wonderful folks who are with me, are my guinea pigs, my delightful, lovely, I want to pet and cuddle them guinea pigs who are going to be trying this out. And if we stumble, it's on me. It's because this hack is still, like, this is our first playtest. So friends, before we do the going around and having everyone introduce, as a reminder, we have safety tools for this game. We have lines and veils, which are in our character keeper, and we have a number of lines that I want to go ahead and make sure everyone is aware of. We have lines, and what a line is, that means that is content that we're not interested in having in our Star Wars. And I fully support all of these lines. We have lines on sexual assault or violence, as well as sexual coercion. We have a line on cannibalism as a positive, which means there are no Ewoks here, friends. There are no Ewoks in this game, obviously. Torture by PCs. I'm totally on board with that. Torture at all. Like, we have a line on torture, which means we have no, like, the droid that came in to mess up with Princess Leia. People, that's just, there's a lot of torture in Star Wars, friends. Like, even in Star Wars Resistance, which is made for kids, there was like a droid that had, like, basically like battery, you know, like a car battery things, like, and shocked the crap out of people. Oh wait, no, that was Clone Wars. Anyway, death and endangerment of children, line on that as well. Luckily, we don't have any Ewoks, so there are no kids. Right? We have veils, which means that if this content happens, we're okay with it. We just don't want to focus. We don't want to shine a light on it. It's a thing where we'll fade to black, or we will just screen wipe away. And that is on veils on animal abuse, as well as consensual sex. So if you know, we hear the music, we're going to fade to black there, and it's all good. There are two things that if this content it feels like you're approaching this content, it's an ask first situation, and that is betrayal between PCs. Sorry, Scoundrel. And violent conflict between PCs, which I think is cool. Like, checking in before you blast somebody sounds awesome to me. And we do have expressed interest. Oh, and sorry, we also have a line on domestic violence. I didn't move that up on my lines and veils, so I missed it, but I apologize. A line on domestic violence. We do have some interest expressed in the possibility of romance. So that's totally cool and fun. But it's always one of those where you check in, right? We're not going to make that happen. On top of the lines and veils is a superstructure called X card. It is a blunt instrument. It does not have the nuance of other safety tools, but I think it is a useful tool to have because we may not think of something that causes someone to be uncomfortable. And if we do, I ask you as a friend and a fellow gamer to let me know. So you can drop an X card by saying, hey, I need an X card thing. You can shoot a note. We have a Roll for Your Party, which has a little black box with red letters, X card, and you can type in what you're X carding. Just please let me know. We'll stop play, and I'm not going to challenge you on what you've X carded, but I may ask in case it's not immediately obvious, or I may just confirm with you if it is obvious. That's immediately going to be excised from our play. You don't have to offer an explanation. You don't need to tell me your story of why it bothers you. It's a-okay. I trust you. And even if it's a thing that only slightly bothers you and you just don't want to deal with it today, you can still X card. If it's a thing that we had in the last session, which is our first session, so that'd be kind of hard to do. But if we had it in previous sessions that I've played with you and you X card it now, that's still cool. If it's something that happens early in the session and you let it slide because you think you're cool with it, and it eventually gets to the point where it's bothering you, you can still X card. X card is always open, it's always available. I have X carded in a Star Wars game, friends, just to let you know how flexible this thing is. I X carded a warehouse. Someone wanted to have a scene in a boring ass warehouse, and I'm like, no. I mean, I was kind of joking, right? But I really didn't want a boring warehouse. I was like, if we're going to fight in a warehouse, there may be some freaking lava coming through here or like some speeders overhead. Come on, we're in Star Wars, right? So you can give that kind of feedback, but you can also X card on something that causes you to be uncomfortable. That's my preference, right? Is for you to X card rather than sitting and taking it. I've done it before. I've been in that game where I just like let it ride because everybody else was into it and I didn't have fun. And I'm here for all of us to have fun. If one person doesn't have fun because they were quiet, I failed at my job. And so have all of us. So let's make sure we check in. Let's read those cues of our little box of our people as we are here. With all that on record and in now, we get the wonderful part of having everyone introduce their character. But first, tell me a little bit about you. So introduce yourself and then tell us about your character. Once we've gone around and had all of these characters introduced, then we will do HX, which is developing bonds and history between the characters. Oh, in case this is your first time here, the time frame setting for this is just after the Return of the Jedi. Palpatine's dead, the Emperor is gone, but there's a fake Emperor, like a Sate Prestige is his name. It's expanded universe, don't worry about it, it's not that big a deal. Basically, Coruscant hasn't fallen yet. There are Imperials around, but the New Republic is rising, and you guys will be struggling amid all of that titanic struggle. I said struggle twice, but I don't know. I need to get thesaurus. Alan, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character, I would appreciate it.
You're muted, Alan.
Over early. Thank you. My name is Alan, and he, him. And this afternoon, my time, I'm playing Draft Bale. I'm using the Scoundrel playbook. Draft is a lovable human who is too old for all this druck. His ship, he has a ship called the Bold Devil. This is sleek, a large sleek ship, fast and agile, but terribly badly armored. And he loves the Bold Devil like it is the child he always wanted, the son he never had, the opportunity that he couldn't turn down when it came up in a game of chance. Yeah, that's Draft, really. He's a very straightforward, he's a nice guy. He's really not a scoundrel at all. He's really just a guy who makes a living taking stuff from one place to another, like
Just a
anybody
man.
else.
The man's courage. Nothing but a man was born to fail. Draft Bale. Love it. Thank you, Alan, so much. Sabine, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name's Sabine. I use any pronouns. And today, for the series, I'm going to play Soren Dahl. Soren is a Jedi, a young Jedi, like his mother. There is a history here. Obviously, he's very pretty young. He's pretty much into the whole goody two shoes Jediism, I guess, where you have to stand up for the oppressed and fight evil and stuff like that with his lightsaber, obviously, which he totally has. He's pretty enthusiastic. He doesn't have a ship, he just has this lightsaber, and that's about it, and a good heart. That's very important, and the Force is with him, he hopes, at least. He thinks. Yeah.
Question. Is this his mother's lightsaber, or did he build his own lightsaber?
It's his mother's lightsaber. He had some arguments with her about what a Jedi should do or should be, and then she was mostly like, no, I want to run my cantina, and the lightsaber, well, Clone Wars happened, and now that's the way things are, and you don't have to go out and fight for what's right or whatever. And he was like, no, I have to stand up for the oppressed. And then one day he just took her lightsaber and ran off, and now he's a Jedi. Yeah, he's not very well trained at all.
Do you have an idea? And you can tell me later if you don't know off the top of your head, but what your mother's name is? Not that she'll show up.
I will give you a name. I have no idea off the top.
Okay,
of my
cool.
head.
Can I just check? Did Soren ever meet his father?
No, I don't think the father ever was there much. Or maybe he was. Maybe the father. No, wait. That was the reason why his mother escaped Order 66, right? Because she was running off to have an illicit affair with this other guy. And well, then Order 66 happened, and she was nowhere near any clone. So
She went from hashtag worst Jedi to hashtag alive still. Yeah.
Yes, mostly. I think the affair with the father broke up after a while. She had to leave Coruscant, and then she opened this cantina, and that's where her life is now. Maybe she has a new guy.
So you've never met your biological father?
Probably not. No. Oh,
Just
yeah. No, I haven't. Absolutely not.
Just checking in.
That's delightful. Okay, cool. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Sabine. Cody, welcome. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hello, I'm Cody. I use he, him pronouns. My character is Lin Lenid. He is a Duros noble. He is a young lad. His people have kind of raised him. They're a little bit like a cult surrounding him. They think that he is going to be the next big thing. Duros are well known for their astronavigational prowess, and they believe that Lin Lenid has the capability to guide them to a new path, to get them out of the Imperial rule as it was and into their new home space. So he has his people are their elders. They guide him, but they also believe that he has this innate gift that they must cultivate. That is him.
And that is really cool. Since I'm assuming you guys will be flying around space, is this a thing where Lin is in some kind of hyperspace contact with his elders, or do they actually physically travel with him? What do you imagine?
Well, I'm kind of interested to see how everybody else feels about it, because I think there's a path. There's part of the people options for noble is wanderers as well, and I felt like the way I kind of built cult and elders together kind of leans towards the wanderers anyway. So I don't know what your thoughts are there, but I think I'm trying to decide if either he feels that if he's amongst the group, like if the elders are with them, and maybe it's only two, maybe it's one, maybe there's one person who's kind of shepherding him on, like, you have this responsibility, you need to be it. Or maybe Lin kind of, he's a little rambunctious and he doesn't want to live that life that they've prepared for him. And so using his navigational knowledge, he was able to get out of there and make a jump where they couldn't find him, and he finds himself here. I'm not certain there yet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, let's just keep an ear towards that, and we'll make some decisions. And it's like, they're going to show up, right? There's a big part of you, so they'll be awesome. This is great. Cool. Thank you, Cody. Stephen, welcome. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your character as well.
Hi, my name's Steven, and I use the he, him pronouns. And I'll be playing Valrin Hido, and a Tochi bounty hunter. Tochi is the species with the big horns, and she uses the pronoun she, her, and it's the bounty hunter playbook. She has a vibro knife and a vibro sword that she fights with. And then she has like a little backup weapon of a pistol that she'll shoot every once in a while. And she is dangerous and a little bit gorgeous and quiet, so she's a little cold. Yeah.
Nice. What is the bounty that Valrin is most known for? Is it hunting down some big monster, or is it taking down some kind of criminal boss or a noble? What do you think is when people talk about Valrin the bounty hunter, what's the thing that they might often whisper about?
That's a good question. Just to draw some ire in the group. Oh, okay. So, Droth, did you have a protege?
I certainly could have had or could have a protege.
I think it was Droth's protege. If that's okay.
Oh.
Is that okay with you?
The son I never had.
Wait, I thought that was your ship. No, okay, that's fine.
That's why it's now the ship.
Oh man. So we need to name this former protege that you've captured, who evidently was very elusive and well known. All right. Former protege.
I don't suppose you could remember the name of that Wookiee bounty hunter from a game of Star Wars World last year, can you? Because I can't.
I can. Is this the one that had the bit of armor on her right shoulder from the cartel game? I can tell you that in just a few moments. Is that who you wanted it to be, or are you just...
I'm just putting that out there. If you wanted to tie it in, we have had the odd bounty hunter in other Star Wars Saturdays.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah, that was a cool character. I remember her. And I'm about to find her, actually. I'm pretty sure. Give me just a sec. Yeah, so we've got that worked out. That is fantabulous. Great work, friends. Now we're going to circle back around and go through the same order. Alan, if you could read out your HX questions, and we will work out.
Do you want all of them at once? Or shall I put them up there and see if anybody bites in a particular
Yeah,
order?
put them up there and see if people bite. I think that's a good call.
Have any of you ever stepped in, put it on the line, and gotten me out of a serious spot?
Not this noble boy.
I mean, I could have. I mean, if I thought you were unjustly set upon, maybe I misjudged the situation a bit.
I am always unjustly set upon.
Okay. I'm pretty easy mark, actually. Very gullible. So, yeah.
So I think that means that you have HX +1 on me. Is that the way that's meant to be read, Rich?
No, you will write HX on your sheet. So you could put in, you would put in HX there.
So Sorendal +1 on my sheet. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Have any of you been on the road with me for days?
That one I feel like might be me, depending on how some of you answer my questions as well. Yeah, I think we've probably been, but you know what? I'm not sure if it's if we would go with the lower one or both, because I think you've definitely caught me staring out at a horizon. I think that is something that Lynn does nonstop.
Okay, no, let's go with that one. So I have caught Lynn Leonard staring at the horizon, and so I get +3 on Lynn. Okay, And so if nobody wants to have any of you been on the road with me for days,
Well, how about if I've been on the road with you for days?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that is +1. Oh no, sorry, +2.
Is this before or after you turned in his protege?
How about this is after?
Do I know?
Oh, everyone knows that I turned in your protege. How about we say I don't know that he was your protege?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I know you took my protege. You don't know I know you took my protege. Okay.
Layers,
Yeah.
it builds.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is dangerous. This is about to blow up. I love it. Okay. Cool.
So that's me done.
Beauty. Sabine. For Soren Dahl, I'm now transitioning to using character names.
Okay. So I have one that says, I sense a dangerous power within one of you that I need to better understand. Who is it? And I would think that might be Lynn. That's cool with you.
I think that's very cool.
Cool. So that gives me HX-1, whatever that means. Probably worse than I think it is. And then I have who has been my traveling companion in the past. And I don't know, might have been Draff or might have been Valren. I don't know. Anyone?
I mean, for what it's worth, I think I might be a mystery to you.
Oh, yes, you are a mystery to me. That's fine.
Because I seem to be a really nice chap, but I keep doing these immoral things.
Oh, yes, you are a mystery to me. Fair enough, yes. So Valren, have you been my traveling companion in the past? I mean,
Yeah, I think so.
you seem to get around. Yeah, I have a positive. I have +1 HX with you. That's
The only person you have a positive with.
well.
So when Soren, do you think that maybe when Soren first left his mother, Soren went running off with Valren at the time?
Oh, sure. I mean, she seems she brought in this dangerous criminal, didn't she? So fair. Could learn a lot from her.
She must be a good person then.
Of course.
Obviously, keeping the galaxy safe from these criminals.
Yes.
Lynn Lenid, let's do your HX.
All right, mine are all based around my people. So you guys, it's varying stages. Are you my people? Are any of you my people? Are you a part of the elders who lead me, or the cult that believes I am destined for greatness?
I would love to be one of the elders that lead.
That is, I'm so happy you said that. That's all I was thinking. I'm like, I can't ask him to do this, but I want so badly for Brian Cox to be like, hey, Lynn, you got to really put, yes, wonderful. All right.
Good.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Have any of you ever stood up to me for real in front of my people?
I might have done that, yeah.
Yep, that seems definitely right. I mean, if two precocious young people destined for greatness.
Yes,
so
well, I mean, I didn't do it to humiliate you. I just thought you might want to be told that you are wrong.
Wonderful. Love it. And that gives me a +2 with you. It looks like all of mine are pluses, which is great. Do you wish you were my people? And then everyone else, just history +1, because I like people and I see them clearly. Valren, would you like to be my people?
No, I don't think I'm one of your people.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I still like you, Valren. I think you're an okay lady.
I am.
Well, let's switch to Valren and see your HX.
So I think the HX here is who is well regarded by the guild.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe well regarded. I think that might be a Lynn thing in the sense that the guild recognizes his station amongst his people, and so maybe it's like, hey, he has ranking. That is a person, worth something. Not necessarily worth a bounty, but he's something worth listening to.
do you think you've, so I have this image since you're a noble, maybe
Yeah.
you have used the guild's services before.
I think Lynn hasn't, but I think definitely his position has, and
Oh.
maybe that's what's it. It's my rank is well regarded within the guild. Me, I'm nothing like perhaps the king who came before or the person who came before. Let's not say king, but let's think about it. And maybe that's what it is the rank is well regarded.
Your planet has a standing contract with that particular bounty hunter guild. Nice.
My next is who knows their way around a firefight, and I feel I can depend on them when things get dangerous.
Not me.
I mean, you can definitely. I've known my way around a firefight. That cantina was something else, and you can definitely depend on me.
Yeah,
when
so I
things get
like that.
dangerous.
I mean, you're a young kid with a lightsaber. That is dangerous. So,
Nice.
and then who do I want to get to know better? But I'm always nervous around.
Oh, that has to be me.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. I don't know why you don't like me, but for some reason you don't like me, and I want to get to know why.
Yeah. Yet I seem very keen to have you travel with me.
Interesting. Circle back, Alan. You'd asked about the Wookiee bounty hunter. How were you thinking about tying that into the HX that we were talking about at the moment? Is that a?
I think that it is the explanation, I think, for the relationship between Valron and I, because we have been on the road together a while. I think I may have sought Valron out after Valron took my protege in. And so in a way I have conned Valron into traveling with me. Does that provide sufficient fictional kind of backup?
For me,
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah, I buy it, and it's pretty interesting. So let's stick with that. Now, last question, and then we are going to take our mid-game bio break. Maybe last question. I always have follow-up questions. Soren Dahl, you are from a pretty rough part of the galaxy, right? That's why you know your way around a fight. Were you imagining that where your mother had set up a canteen, is that somewhere out in the backwoods, outer rim planet in the middle of nowhere, or is it right smack dab in the middle of hut space where the Empire and never came because the hut space was just like?
I don't know. I can see that she just went away from Huts or the Empire, because Jedi and the Huts, there was always a bit of trouble. So she might have thought it would be better to get away from it all.
Okay, so she was in the middle of nowhere kind of thing.
Yeah, somewhere in the outer rim, but not totally the middle of nowhere, because some people had to come to the cantina, right?
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's something similar, like from a look perspective, similar to the place where the Mandalorian found our shock trooper, like that very forested world that has lots of little villages, that kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that, exactly.
Sweet.
That
That
explains why he knows his way around a fight, because they were fighting a lot for just fun.
Awesome. Good. Did anyone else have any follow-up questions on HX or anything you wanted to clarify?
Just one clarification of the relationship between Draft Bale and Lynn Lynyd. Now, clearly, I cannot be really an elder. So could it be that the elders have sent him on the grand tour or something? Because I'm trying to explain why they would let him loose. And
Sure.
clearly, I'm fulfilling the role of elder.
I like that. Okay.
Actually being,
Yeah.
one of his official elders.
So part of me doesn't necessarily feel that Lynn's people are all Duros. Like it could be a very metropolitan, like almost like a group of like a small religion or something, hence the cults thing. So it's possible that you do really believe in Lynn's like abilities to find the new path or something like that. Like I think you could still actually have that if you wanted to. But
I think that's certainly what I've told you.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Awesome. So in that case, are you a bit of a con man who got in thinking there's money to be made in this, and they let Lynn go with you because Draft is such a powerful force amongst people? He can show Lynn the known galaxy so that he can find us the path to the unknown regions.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you needed a safe pair of hands to babysit you as you just explored things beyond the boundaries of the world where this cult is based. And you know, after showing appropriate devotion to the cause, I seemed the obvious candidate.
Definitely awesome. Yeah, I love it.
Let me ask one question just to make sure I interpret this. Does Lynn does he think he ran away, but he didn't actually ran away because Draft is an elder?
No, I think that's changed. I think Lynn is kind of along for the ride. He understands what his people want him to do, and he's not necessarily, you know, he bristles at it a little bit, right? He's a teenage Duros or a young Duros. It doesn't sit the most with him, but at the aspect of getting some freedom and traveling with Draft around the galaxy, he's all for it. And he says, oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll definitely be able to come back and be way better for this. Please just let me off world. And he took his trusty Lothcat with him, and now we're on an adventure.
I think
That's awesome.
certainly Draft will have suggested, you know, kid, you need to get off this planet.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. This is great. We are going to take our mid-game break. It is 34 after. Let's take like 6-7 minutes, somewhere it's come at 20 till. An assignment for you, Lynn Lynid. You need to name your Lothcat, because who would have an unnamed Lothcat?
Listen, I've been thinking about it for hours. So.
Oh, sweet. So, friends, we'll take a break. See you in like 6-7 minutes. See you in a bit.
Awesome.
Hey everybody, I'm back. All right, I know that our scoundrel has a beginning of session move. Does anyone else have a start of session move?
I believe I do as well.
And I think I do as well.
Cool. That's awesome. All my work's done for me. I'm such a genius in making this hack where there are moves that kick things off. Let's start off with our bounty hunter.
Okay. So let's see. Mine is Moth to the Flame. At the beginning of the session, roll with tough. I got a 4 + 2, I believe, is a 6. And that is a hold. On a miss, the MC holds one and can spin it at any time to put me in a very bad spot.
Yay.
Do I mark
Lynn.
XP for that?
You do. Oh, no, sorry. You just rolled with tough. So you mark XP for tough.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Lynn, you've got to start a session move. Let's see it.
Yeah, so my start session move is Devotion. At the beginning of the session, if your followers are secure and stable, roll + cool. On a 10+ during the session, blah, blah, blah. So I'm rolling + cool. So I got -1. Did they not roll? Here we go. Oh no, I got a 3 - 1 is a 2. So a powerful start for Lynn. On a miss, or if my followers are in crisis, all of their demands, if you have more than one group of followers, roll separately for each of them. So I have a, so usually it's on a success, I get their devotions. On a mixed, I get the devotion benefit as well as their demand. On a miss, it's just the demands of the group of my people. And the demands of my people are protection and obedience. And we know who demands obedience here. So
delightful. It's writing itself. Draft, as our scoundrel, you have.
I have the ear to the ground move. At the beginning of the session or whenever there's a break in play, name the location of one of your ports of call or another location you care about and roll + cool. Well, let's roll + cool to start with. Cool is 1. That is 10. On a 10, you see, nothing ever goes wrong for Draft Bale. On a 10, word reaches you that choose one. There's a great opportunity for you there. Ask the MC what it is, or choose one from the 7 to 9 list below. Okay, they're facing serious problems there. Ask the MC what it is. Somebody there needs to talk to you. Ask the MC who. Something bad is coming your way, and the people there have a warning for you. I think I would like to choose one of the 7 to 9 results, which is something bad is coming your way, and the people there have a warning for you. Ask the MC what their warning is.
Okay.
And because I'm not very good at Star Wars planets, Rich, I'm going to defer naming the planet to you.
Well, thank you so very much. Let's define it a little bit. Do you imagine that this is a core planet, which means there's a heavy amount of Imperial control still in place, but a lot of riches? Do you think it's a mid-rim planet, which is probably under newly established New Republic control? So there are lots of loose places for you to ply your trade. Or is it out in the boonies in the outer rim? Or somewhere in basically space Las Vegas, which is hut space?
I think, looking at the range of ports of calls I have to play with, one of them is I know people here who know people who can put you in touch with who you need. I think that's the logical one, and that sounds like the boonies to me, rather than core.
Sweet. So we're off in the boonies. Cody, did you have a planet that immediately jumps to mind? If not, I'm pulling up my
pull up the list. Let's go crazy.
Galaxy map of Outer Rim, because I'm telling you, friends, unless you make me, we're not going to Tatooine. Too much. That place is hot. Too much stuff happens at Tatooine. It is a busy, busy place.
Also, it's full of sand.
So much sand. It gets everywhere. is totally the worst, you guys. All right, I've got a cool map. I just got to get to it. Sorry, I went on a picture downloading spree and now everything's disorganized because I found so many pretty pictures. Why did I do that? Did I stick in its own folder? I apologize, friends. Give me just another minute here. Galaxy map. There's one that will work. All right. So I'll just go ahead and share so we can all look at the thing I'm looking at. Okay. So here's the outer rim. I'll blow that just a little bit bigger because why not? We have within the outer rim and wild space some pretty amazing planets. Let's look along the Elrud Minos cluster. I love Minos cluster because I have lots of cool stuff for that one. Adarlan is fun. That's where we ran our Padawans in the Vineyard game, and one session was there. So I'm leaning. Of course, we don't want to go to Dagobah. The place is like stinky and terrible. Let's say that you're way over here, really far down the Rima trade route at Pergitor, which is still technically part of Minos cluster. So it's the boonies, but Adarlan had a pretty heavy imperial presence. So there's a lot of civilization, but there's lots of opportunity. So still considered the boonies because it was one of the first places to fall. So it's kind of in that middle sphere. And in fact, the New Republic has authorized Adarlan. Adarlan is a place where they do lots of hollow productions. They make hollow movies and New Republic is funding Adarlan to start a whole new broadcast to do pro-Republic stuff. And I'm also leaning in to set up my Hearts of the Force game that's coming up very soon.
I've got a question though.
Yeah.
There is something called a teamwork pool. How do we add that up? What does that consist of?
I'm sorry, I didn't. T-word pool? What? I'm confused.
Yeah, a teamwork pool.
Teamwork
pool. Yes. Don't worry about it. It is a thing that will not be in today's playtest that we may try to slide in and playtest next session. I just don't feel like it's ready yet.
But I have to use it. I might have to use it for the force moves. So.
Okay. That is a thing I had not
strange.
foreseen.
If it's not there, then I have to take disadvantage. I mean, I'm fine with that, or I use the dark side. I'm fine with that, but yeah.
No, it's a really good question. I had not thought about the implications of that because we had. So I'm looking at the we call the force quickly to aid you. Clear your mind, gain. Oh, it keeps moving. Why does this thing keep moving? Okay. Okay. You can take a disadvantage on your next roll or remove one die from the teamwork pool. I see. Yes. Okay. Let's tweak that because I don't want to immediately put you on dark side stuff. So let me tweak that real quick. Give me just a second. I'll put the old version of it. See, is there anything else on teamwork? Spin force point. Okay, force point. All right, so instead, you can either take disadvantage on your next roll or take one harm. So there you go. That'll be our substitute for this session, and I will work through that. All right, so you guys are headed to Pergitor, a planet in the Minos cluster, settled by the Jessa Corporation miners. Excessive mining has resulted in volcanic eruptions, and the atmosphere itself is pretty well poisoned, and the ecosystem is terrible. So this is a heavily industrialized planet, not that dissimilar to Corellia, except that Corellia kind of stopped and Pergitor kept going forward. It's been ruled as a despotism for many years, but there is a group of young liberals who are trying to overthrow who overthrew the government just before the start of the Clone Wars. The Church of Infinite Perception counter-couped, installing a theocracy. So the Church of Infinite Perception has a nebulous affiliation with the New Republic, and the church is still in bloody control and runs all of the minds, because that is delightful. And they have a warning for you. So
something bad is coming my way, and the people there have a warning for me. Ask the MC what their warning is. Now, we could wait until we get there.
I like it. So you guys are headed to Pergitor on the sleek and wonderful Bold Devil. Valrin, we know that you're going to be put in a spot, but we're not going to immediately start with you in a spot. And so you guys have recently left Adelon, where you refueled, and you're jumping over to Pergitor. The warning that the people, I'm going to say that perhaps one of the elders, one of the members of Lynn's group and followers, one of Lynn's people, has been meeting with the young liberals who survived the purge and are acting as effectively a rebel cell within Pergitor. And so the Droff and Lynn, you guys are trying to get to Pergitor in order to meet with, Rich jumps over to grab a name from his thought ahead, and it's going to be Utri Arme, who is a Bothan elder, a member of your people. And I'll stick them in our NPCs and places. I'll grab a picture some other time unless someone else wants to do that for me. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. So we have Utri Arme, who has been negotiating with the young liberals who are not so young anymore, because they've been fighting this war against the church for decades now. And I think Utri threw up a signal. He's got a warning for you, and also he needs to be extricated from Pergitor. Clear? Clear as mud? Awesome. Sweet. So as you guys start off, Droff, as you pull into Pergitor, most of the church hold their services in space stations that are in geosynchronous orbit over specific points over Pergitor. However, Utri is on the surface because he's been working with the miners with their small rebellion that he's trying to foment for the purposes of benefiting Lynn, of course. Why else would Utri do that? So, Droff, is your plan to land at a space station and take some shuttle down, or do you want to just try to slip past all of their planetary defenses to land as close as you can to extricate Utri Arme?
Given that the church is such a dangerous organization with a grip of iron, I want to avoid them as much as possible. The people I know are the people in the mines. They're the people on the planet. They're the people, who that's where we'll find Utri. So what I need is to know where to put this baby down.
All right. You know what you need to do? I think you need to read a situation. Sorry, I started to say sitch, but it's not anymore. It's situation.
Read a situation. Canny. I can't remember. Hang on. Will in a moment.
Yep.
One.
Roll plus can.
So roll +1.
Now, pause. There are help and interfere moves that borrowed from Burned Over. Does anyone wish to help out Draft? If so, the way it works is you say, hey, how can I help you, Draft? Then and Alan would explain, oh, you could do so and so, and then you, the player who's helping, would roll plus HX. And with a successful help, you could possibly allow drafts to roll with advantage or give a +1. We'll just see how good the help is.
I mean, I would totally be willing to help. It will be a catastrophe, though, but I would absolutely be willing to help.
Okay, kid, what can you do?
I can. What do I need me to do? I mean, I can.
I need someone
push.
to just distract the traffic controllers until we can just dip under the radar.
Sure, I can talk to them and tell them very interesting things about the universe and the Force and things like that. And let me roll for help with -2 because you're a mystery to me. And I have no idea who you are and what you want me really to do, but I am absolutely willing to do it. So I have to wait, I have to punch in my name here. No, not that one. Yeah, I've rolled a 6 anyway, so.
Okay,
I'm
so
at
first,
4.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
But I don't mean that in a judgmental way. Go ahead and click the XP for help, Soren. Even
Okay,
though
cool.
you failed to help, you tried, and that means
Where
a lot.
do I click that?
If you look underneath the HX
yeah, I've
there,
seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Yes.
Cool. So go ahead and check that. So as you guys come out of hyperspace, you're immediately pinged by a comm from the Pergitor Planetary Protection Guild, and you, Sorenthal, get into a discussion with a member of the Church of Infinite Perception, as they inform you that this that the Force itself is actually subservient to infinite perception, that the Force is only one of the ways which one may glance unblinking at the eye of the abyss and understand truth. And you get like into this big conversation, which is a little distracting, Soren. Yeah, so that's going on while Droff is trying to read the situation. So Droff, you don't have any help whatsoever from
No,
Soren.
and I've already rolled the dice, so I rolled 5 + 1 is 6.
Plus
because
1.
I am more distracted than friggin' traffic control.
So yeah, you rolled a 5 + 1, 6, so you just barely failed. That's delightful. So go ahead and I marked your canny XP for canny because you rolled with canny. And on a miss, the MC might have you ask one anyway, but be prepared for the worst. And why shouldn't I just take that? Go ahead and ask one of those questions and read a situation.
Okay. What's my best way in?
Your best way in is to allow Soren to be convinced by the Church of Infinite Perception and to just roll with that as a possible acceptance of the proselytizing of the church, and for Soren to effectively lean into this and maybe, you know, want to learn more.
Okay, so we've had the scene where we've had this to and fro with traffic control, which, well, and you know, Draft is endlessly get to the point, and so I think I will attempt to charm or deceive Soren into believing that the sensible thing to do, just say yes.
Yes,
I don't
smile.
I don't think you need to roll for that, but fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's do it. Charm him.
Oh, that is 11.
Wow, I'm so charmed.
Nice.
So they have to choose, set skepticism aside and go along with you, or else call you a fool and a liar to your face.
No, I set skepticism aside, because why not? You're a mystery to me, but you seem nice, right? And it seems to be the best plan anyways. So I will totally go ahead and say, yes, this seems like an interesting point of view. And can you tell me more? That seems like we should have a face-to-face discussion instead of talking over the comm system here.
Oh, and they immediately plot you in some nav point coordinates to land at the Heavenly Gate, which is what they call the space station where they take in new members who are interested in learning more about the church. Now, I just want to check in. Lynn, I think maybe Droff had told you that they were going to land on the planet, but you see that the bold devil is now basically laying in a course to go dock with the largest of the space stations in geosynchronous orbit. What do you do?
So Lynn doesn't want to be here at all. As soon as the word came down that we were going here, that's why Draft's been so distracted in the cockpit. He's sitting over his shoulder. I don't know why we even have to come here. I thought we were supposed to go on my travels. We were supposed to tour the galaxy. Why are we coming back to a church? So he's nonplussed.
This is part of the galaxy.
We're just coming back to meet with somebody we already know. Bale, I thought we were supposed to. We should turn around and we should continue the tour elsewhere.
Well, tough shit, kid. There are things you need to learn on this trip. And one of those things you need to learn is when to zip. Yeah? So zip.
Ooh, harsh. Shutting him down. Lynn, are you going to take that?
Yeah, I think I have to. My start of the session move was to get either the devotion or the requirement of my people, and I failed. And so the requirements are obedience and protection. So as soon as Bale says that I have to learn something, and that's what I have to learn, he sits down and pouts and just kind of sits in the chair.
Oh, Valren. The church does, of course, have access to the bounty boards if that's a thing that you wanted to do.
Yep, I was just looking over that to say, oh, I need to see if I can find a bounty.
Cool. So we'll kind of cut to you guys docking, and then the airlock opens up and you can step out onto the space station itself. And as you do so, of course, it looks kind of like this. So you've got these cool hallways with all the nice lighting, and it's very bright. So, we have a cool new pick for Soren. Awesome. So let's go ahead and have you roll going hunting. When you check a bulletin board for current bounties, roll plus canny.
Okay. And I looked at this. If it goes horribly, I'm so sorry. Okay, I rolled an 8, and my canny is a 1, so that's a 9.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, take what you can get. You hold one lead. So at any point, you can spend a lead to say someone present has a bounty on them, and you can ask some questions. Cool?
Sounds cool.
Awesome. So at this point, you've gone to kind of plug your data pad in and communicated with the bounty board, got a readout of things that are going on. Meanwhile, Soren, you are greeted by several dignitaries from the Church of Infinite Perception. They are in these long blue robes with these golden, like there's a single strip of cloth that has these weird hollow patterns that keep changing and shifting. It's not in Albec or Basic. It's in some other more ancient language of ancient Pergitese. And they escort you on and they say, please come with us, Soren. Unless you gave a fake name, but they come with us, Soren. I don't think Soren Dahl's into fake names. So they bring you in. They want to bring you into like this lounge where they're going to feed you these like sliced fruits and these spiced and mulled wines as they talk more about the Church of Infinite Perception.
I will decline any kind of food from people who call themselves the Church of Infinite Perception. I'd like to keep my perception where it is for now.
Nice. Then you politely decline. They don't push it. But they are definitely sniffing from their own behinds as they quite enjoy the fruits of their day. And they're going to start talking to you and have you thought about dedicating your life to the Church of Infinite Perception? You speak of the Force and you understand that the Force is only one small part of the Church itself. Valrend, you're off doing your work with the Bounty Board. Lynn, do you follow Soren as he's escorted away?
So where's Draft otherwise? Like, what's
Well,
the
that's
other?
a great question. Where is Draff otherwise?
Oh, Draff has slipped away to get a shuttle to get down to the planet to get this bloody Utri, to pick up this Utri.
Okay. So you slipped
As
away.
discreetly as possible.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
is Draff?
Yeah. So since Lynn can't find Draff, he slowly follows Soren, interested in the discussions of the universe and the meaning of life and the force and whatnot. But he allows Soren to take the brunt of their interest. He just kind of trails behind, holding his Lothcat on his shoulder.
Nice. The Lothcat is not at all interested in any of this mess except for the fruit slices. So there's this long table, and they've put, after they offered several bowls of fruit to Soren, they place those, and the Lothcat like hops off of your shoulders and makes its way towards the table because fruit slices free for the taking. Why not? Where they are, there's this beautiful view out of the it's like an open force field, kind of plasteel, see-through transparent plasteel windows. You notice, Lynn, that is angled to show you the galaxy, but not Pergitor itself, because Pergitor, as we've discussed, is this volcanic mess that's been mined nearly to oblivion. So they just kind of tilt that view. And even though it's in geosynchronous orbit, it's kind of like the dark side of the moon. It only shows you the wonder of all the other stars and planets. And as you, Lynn, are there listening, but maybe not completely listening, there is has Lynn ever met a Zeltron before? Someone from the planet Zeltros?
Nope. Let's go ahead and say no.
All right. There is a very lovely individual. She appears human, or she's a near human, except that she has kind of a peach skin and bluish hair. And she comes up, and you immediately feel relaxed, right? I'm not violating any of your agency, but Lynn feels a bit of relaxation. She's just a calming presence. And she says, "Welcome to the church. We have very few Doros who have graced the Church of Infinite Perception. What has brought you to us?" Yeah, that looks like a good pick.
Well, my friend Soren here is interested in your teaching, I suppose. I don't know that I completely understand or agree with the church's perceptions. You say infinite, and you only show the outside, the outer rim. You don't show your own planet. But I'm finding it quite pleasant.
She laughs. "Oh, of course we could show our planet, but it is only part of what is the infinite existence." And she kind of takes your arm and starts to guide you over towards the view. And she's silent, and you get the feeling, Lynn, that she's like a recruiter, like a person who tempts and seduces someone to the church.
Yeah, and I think Lynn, I mean, his people are occultists themselves. Or they're a bit of a cult, and I think he knows that behavior that other people have used to bring people to their sect. And I think knowing what she's doing, I want to say he's not as susceptible to it just because he has that experience.
Sure, absolutely.
But
yeah.
I know Zeltrons have like that sweet near human, almost magic charisma. So if you want me to roll to see how Lynn handles it, because Lynn's but a young lad.
It's true. Why don't you roll to act under fire from her ability to use kind of pheromones to change your opinion, make you a little happier than maybe you would be.
All right, so rolling plus cool. My plus cool is -1, so I'm coming in strong. And roll -1. 8. I get an 8.
An 8. Nice. Well, with an 8, then your best way to handle Xena Thorn, as she introduces herself, the best way to handle Xena, you realize, is probably to extricate yourself from this situation, because you realize there is some kind of pleasant scent that is
Mhm.
starting to addle your mind. Yeah, it's
Sure.
going to be a little rude to kind of get away from her potentially.
Lynn has no problem turning his back on anybody who's trying to talk to him. He turns and he kind of goes towards Soren. So, Soren, friend, are you discussing the intricacies of existence and the great path forward?
Yes, among other things. Actually, I was letting this elder tell me all about his infinite perceptions, and there are a lot of them. So, well, it's very interesting. And Soren has kind of a little glassy eye because he's been listening a lot, he's been nodding a lot, and he's been bartending, so he knows how to listen and nod and seem interested without really letting any of that into his head, because I mean these guys are nice, but their infinite perceptions, they can maybe go and perceive their ass. So
Oh, that's
but
great.
he thinks that he's still creating a distraction for drafts, so he's just still standing there and distracting these people and occasionally tossing in some buzzwords. That I mean, he has not had a full Jedi education anyways, but he knows a lot of buzzwords, and he's made up his mind about what all of it means. So he's very convinced, but he'll just throw them stuff that will keep them interested right now.
Nice. Yeah, and I think they're good with sussing through the poodoo that you throw and kind of hitting back. They've got a lot of overcoming objections training because this is what they do, but it's not really like, it's faith, right? And you have faith in something else. So Soren, Lynn comes over and kind of inserts himself into your conversation.
Cool.
And Xena follows, right?
Go right ahead. Insert yourself how you want. Maybe I can switch off the conversation to him because he knows about stuff like that, and just kind of melt into the background a little.
Oh, really? Nice. Is this a thing where you want to deceive these people to see Lynn as a better target?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's really deception if it's true. He is a better target. I mean,
Nice.
he has his own cult. I am just wannabe Jedi. I mean, well, yeah.
Wannabe. Go ahead and roll plus suave. I see here you have a -1 in suave, so this will go well.
Yeah. Well, I'm really playing to my strengths here, right?
Is there anything I can do to help?
Oh, you don't have to. I've rolled a 10, but you can. Yes, you can help. Sure, you can. I mean, just to have these rolls happening, you can help by being interested in these guys and taking their attention away from me. So that would be very helpful. So I try to draw you into the conversation.
Definitely. I lean into it. As soon as I see Soren kind of lean back, I lean forward with my great big red eyes with what looks like galaxies in them. And I just say, oh, the infinite perceptions is very interesting, but I think it's only a good foundation. You know, it really means nothing if you don't chart a new course and follow it into the greater reaches.
Ooh, that's the kind of stuff if you study your people. Go ahead and roll plus HX. You've got, let's see, your HX with Soren is a 2.
Okay.
You're good at helping.
I'm good at getting help, I guess.
I get a 7 total.
Okay, cool. So yes, you, Soren, are able to slide away and hand over Lynn to these members of the church. And Lynn, you sold them so well that they really are interested in having you go through the baptism of fire.
Excuse me?
Yes, the baptism of fire is what all new members of the church undergo. It is a transformative experience.
Well, I'm afraid that while that sounds like a truly experiential experience, I don't believe that I can do so, as I feel that your church to join it would have to truly show belief, and I simply do not. You see, I believe that while your church is a good step in the right direction, it simply isn't all there. So to join up with you would really hamper my abilities to perform for my people, and I simply cannot do that. I am on tour. I am on the great galactic tour. I must continue on, to the infinite possibilities and the sights and where Soren go.
Nice. So we will cut right there because that's beautiful. Valren, Draff took off. Soren and Lynn went with the church parishioners. Where are you going, Valren? You checked your bounty board. You've got some leads possibly, but where are you headed?
Yeah, so I think that I think I can spend a lead to declare a bounty. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm going to spend the lead that I have, and I'm going to say that the bounty's on the planet. Okay.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, you then get to, as the MC, get to define and answer all the questions that are in there.
So let's double check that.
But I think where I'm going is I'm headed towards the hangar bay, and I'm going to see if I can't potentially hire a ship or something like that. And if possible, I'd like to run into Draft there.
Absolutely.
Draft said he was headed towards a ship, right?
Yep. So you check your thing, you look up where the draft go, you head, and you end up going there at the same time the draft is attempting to secure a shuttle. So the first thing that you know is that the name of your bounty is a thug from the planet known as Narkanji. His name is Onan Leech. And Onan Leech has a bounty on him for basically lots of violent behavior, getting into blaster fights. He has bounties on him from the New Republic, as well as from Warlord Zinj, who has declared himself the warlord of the Empire. So if you actually wanted to go there to Zinj's empire, you could turn in a bounty on him as well. So, Draft, looks like Valren caught up to you. You've just secured a shuttle that will traverse you down to the surface. What do you guys do?
Well, yeah. So I was planning to do this alone. Valren, why are you here?
I have business down on the planet, and I planned on, chartering a ship on my own, just to go down there. But did you actually buy did you actually charter a ship, or did you talk your way into one?
Oh, yeah, good question.
Oh, I absolutely paid for it, I say.
Okay, fantastic. We can split the costs.
That would be very reasonable. If you could transfer a credit to me now, then I'd happily take you down.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense with our current business arrangement.
It does. It does. That's fine. That will help defray, the heavy fuel costs that this place have levied on me. So, and there's the port fees and docking fees on a place like this. Wherever you get a heavy-handed church, they're just in your pocket all the time. Now it's been a while since I flew one of these. Let's just whoa, that's the wrong button. Okay. Okay, ready to go?
Absolutely.
And then we land.
Hey, did you steal this shuttle?
You told me that I'd found a shuttle.
Yes.
I told you I didn't pay for it.
Uh-huh. So yeah, I got you.
There's only very few ways to join those two dots.
It's true. That's amazing. Yes, you guys land on one of the landing platforms. This is a small shuttle. I'm kind of imagining like Star Trek shuttle size shuttle, right? And very no armor, one laser, not a fighting ship whatsoever, but you can slip out of a space station pretty easily. So you guys land on the surface. The doors open up. It's immediately smoky. There's this like heavy sediment in the air. It's the kind of thing that would be quite noxious. So do we see you guys in breathing masks? Awesome. And I imagine, Valren, you just kind of slipped on into the armor because it would have its own rebreathers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And did you get your credit?
I now I see it's just arrived in my account. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Awesome. And of course, credit's abstraction, right? It's we call it cred, but it's thousands of credits kind of deal. It's I'm not so worried about the economy because, like, other than saying I have to scrounge for work, when does Star Wars ever deal with an actual economy? And when they do, when is it good? Right, exactly. Thanks. So you guys make your way onto the surface, Droff. How do you want to reach out to Utri? Just try to pull up on your comm unit and reach out from Port Bothan?
I suppose so. Now, I know people here who know people who can put me in touch with who I need. So I imagine on the way down in the shuttle, there's a conversation with the people here who know people. And I'm expecting to meet Utri in that cantina over there.
Perfect. I adore this plan. It is the best idea. It turns out that the canteen is probably the best place to start to look for Mr. Leach as well. So we'll just traverse. You could come down in the shuttle. We do a quick bit of you walking through the smoky and from the landing platform come in, and now we hear some bish, jazz music. Yes, exactly. A la cantina. This, like, straight, they just lean into it. You find, however, to your dismay, that this cantina has less of a selection of intoxicants than most, but it does still have a few that are approved by the church that offer enlightenment to the infinite perceptions. Valrin, as you come in, let's see, there are some other questions, right? So let's see, your bounty is on Mr. Leach. Who has put the bounty on them? I told you that. What did they do? Got you that. Wanted dead or alive? He is wanted alive, which is me putting you in a bad spot. And you see that Mr. Leach himself, Onan Leach, is there with several other members of, they have a very similar cast of skin. They are all wearing this kind of red armor. They do very much look the mercenary part. And they are trading some drinks and watching a hollow display of a couple of like alien creatures that are fighting each other in some far off pit. It may be not even on this planet. And they're throwing some bets and laughing and joshing with each other, Valrin. So you see that. Droff, you meet with one of your contacts here on Pergitor, who informs you that Utri will make his way here shortly, that they were waiting for you to show up. They couldn't just be sitting around a cantina.
Now, yeah, and before Valran, so I'm looking over Valran's shoulder at Leach, and so Valran, just how were you intending to get him off the planet?
He'll come back with us.
So you would just want to take him to the station, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's job done.
So that's another question. Where do I turn in?
If you want to turn him in for 5 cred bounty, you would need to take him to Zinja's Empire. If you want to turn him in for a 2 cred bounty, then you can hand him over to the authorities in the Minos cluster on Adarlan. So it's basically a 2-planet jump.
Yeah. So I tell Droff, so I imagine that, we have like an agreement and I rent a little bit of space from you on the ship. And this is where I can either store my bounties. It's like a little jail or something like that.
Yeah, and that absolutely, but that is a percentage arrangement rather than a fixed fee.
Right.
So just remind me of the percentages, because depending on where you want me to take you, those percentages, as it says in paragraph 83, I think, of the arrangement, that's a kind of sliding scale. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that the percentages are probably somewhere in the 20% kind of range, depending on how dangerous things are. But yeah.
So certainly at 20%, if you wanted me to take you to Zinj, you know, I'm thinking 15% for, you know, because not necessarily the direction that Lynn wants to go. And you know that in all these things, I am driven fundamentally by what's best for Lynn.
Yeah, so I think that Zinj makes the most sense because it's the most, you know, it's the most lucrative bounty.
And I appreciate that you know, that's what you do. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I'm slightly concerned about is he's over there, you're over here. I'm waiting for Utri. Presumably, you won't make a move until I've got Utri on the shuttle.
Well, that depends. I'm gonna actually read a sitch.
Fantastic.
Ooh, that's a 5 plus my canny is a 1, so that's a 6. Yeah. Yeah.
So you glance over as Draft is asking, hey, just confirming this is going to be a thing you do later with good timing so that it all makes sense. And that's when you see one of Leech's compatriots look at you and he's whispering, and then Leech turns around and he looks right at you, and they all stand up together and they're reaching for blasters. What do you do?
How many are there?
There are 4 plus Leech, so 5.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, oh, that decision was made. I'm going to tell Droff that decision was made for me, and I'm going to turn around and step just out. So I figure we just came in, right?
Sure,
I'm going to
sure,
step right outside the door, and I'm going to ambush anybody who comes out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so he's not going to be going out himself, but he'll send one of his compatriots. That sounds amazing. Hey, Valrin, or Droff, you've seen Valrin pull this kind of thing before as she steps out, and it looks like there are a number of, let's just say that in 20 years, they'll call themselves the Kanji Club. But this is the young version of the Kanji Club. It's like Kanji Club 0.2. So, yeah, Droff, looks like a fight's about to go down. Do you want to stick your nose in this and help out Valrin, or are you just going to go head on into the cantina and wait for Utri?
Oh no, I on the door. I'm leaving through the back door where I can observe from.
Oh, good. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. So you
know, I think paragraph 95 says that there is, you know, this is all subject to, you know, appropriate level of risk.
Somebody's got to fly you out of here.
So I'm going to leave the cantina by the door she didn't go through. So I on the door, name your escape route and roll plus cool. So
okay.
That is 9. On a 10 plus sweet, you're gone. On 7 to 9, you can go or stay, but if you go, it costs you. Leave something behind or take something with you. The MC will tell you what. I think I'll have to just sit in the corner then.
Okay, so you're so wait,
I will. You know, I'm just a customer, and as you know,
Are you choosing the Lisa behind or take something with you?
No, 7 to 9, you can stay, go
or
stay.
stay. Oh, gotcha. Oh, so you're
stay.
Earlier in the text. Sorry, I was reading the text and I read past that. Awesome. So you're just you'll stay, but you're not helping Valrin out in her fight for her life. That's a good call.
Not at this point.
I mean, right. Sure, it's fine. I'm sure these blasters are set to stun. We slip back up to the space station. Soren, you've extricated yourself from the conversation with Lynn Lenid and the proselytizing recruiters of the Church of Infinite Perception. When you get a bad feeling, Soren, you get a bad feeling when you see a particular individual, a Rhodian, who has a cybernetic left eye. In fact, if you want to see what he looks like, go to the NPCs and places directly to the right of our lovely Zenith Thorn. You'll see a Rhodian by the name of Mato Chatza.
Okay.
And Mato comes in, and you see that he has a blaster, a holdout blaster that he's kind of palmed in his long fingers, and he's got eyes on Lynn. What do you
I
do?
want to read the situation, I guess.
Oh,
maybe.
awesome. You should do that thing.
Seems like a thing to do right now. What do I roll that with? I
You
roll
roll with
canny.
canny.
I'm rolling all the stuff I am not good at, but hey,
I think when your laser sword comes out, we'll find out
yeah,
you're good at something.
maybe. Oh wow, I've rolled a 3, so it doesn't matter if I'm good at it or not. I'm just not. This is just a total miss. Read a situation. Okay. So
Go ahead and ask one anyway.
I think right now what I want to okay, so right now I'm assuming, of course, that this Rhodian is after Lynn, and that he poses the biggest threat. I'm answering all the questions.
Sure, I believe that.
What represents the best opportunity for me to interfere here with whatever nefarious plan he thinks he wants to enact?
I mean, the best way to interfere is to stop him, is to reveal yourself as some kind of Jedi with a lightsaber and just break out, because it turns out that that's not just a regular holdout blaster. That's a disruptor.
Oh, that's bad. I remember these from our Veil game. I think these are
it's
really
like a
deadly.
disintegrator. It could
Oh,
kill Lynn
no.
real dead.
Oh, right. Okay. So I will absolutely go and interfere right now because he hasn't been aggressive himself. I can't just point the right lightsaber at him. I believe that is not the Jedi way. The Jedi way is a way of peace. So we'll step into the line of fire and say, hey, friend, I think you're going to make yourself very unhappy today. Maybe just turn it down a notch and have some of these candied fruits. They're free. They're
Awesome.
quite tasty.
Have you drawn your lightsaber?
No, I have not. I have not.
Sweet.
I mean,
He
I
shoves
have.
you to the side and starts to take a shot at Lynn Lanid.
Oh, in that case, I will ignite the lightsaber. I mean, I might have the handle in my hand, but
yeah,
I can
sure.
ignite it.
I'm down for
pretty
that.
Quickly.
Hey, Lynn. You just saw out of nowhere a Rhodian with a cybernetic eye just try to shove Sorendal, and looks like he's whipped out a little blaster and he's going to take a shot at you. Soren just drew his lightsaber and has sparked it to life, which has surprised a number of the members of the church. What are you doing, Lynn?
So Lynn, the Rhodian conspicuously ignored the fruit that Soren offered, also ignoring my loft cat behind him. So Lynn is going to say, we can continue this lesson later, Kara, and then drops, and then hoping that the loft cat will jump on the back of the Rhodian attempting to assassinate me.
So you like command the loaf cat. We cut to the loaf cat. The loaf cat looks up and then picks up another fruit slice and slices it into his mouth. We cut to Soren, and he just casually eats the fruit slice. Let's have you act under fire here, because there's no protect someone thing, and we aren't quite into do battle. Let's see how this goes.
Let me act under fire. Yeah, great. I've got a 5 here. I'm rolling really terribly.
You do realize this is not an XP on a miss game, Sabine. Just checking in. If you were forcing mentally trying to roll low to get XP.
I know that. I'm sorry. I apologize for rolling badly, but I think that Laos has it in for me. It's a naturally crucial Laos.
Now
maybe we should have introduced ourselves to him.
You've marked XP in at least 3 ways. So now you get to mark XP and then take the box. Actually, you did that before you rolled cool. So you still get your cool checked for your failed act under fire, and you're 1 step closer to getting an advance. That's wonderful.
Yes.
So you get a choice here, Soren. Either Lynn gets shot or you get shot.
I get shot.
Cool.
Is there any way I could have helped?
Soren was trying to help you, and a help on top of a help. I'm just going to say
sure,
it happens from the miss. That's a fair question, and maybe if I'd slowed things down, that could have happened differently. But yeah, Soren, you move in the way. You take 3 harm AP.
Oh. Okay.
And it's AP, so you just goes immediately to 9. And you get to roll the harm move. I'll go ahead and change in standard moves the harm move. And when you suffer harm, roll minus the harm you've suffered. You want to roll high in burned over now. So you get to roll 2d6 minus 3.
Okay. Yeah, I've rolled an 11. So
Wow. That's pretty great. On a 10 plus, the MC chooses 1. The harm you take stands as is with no additional effect. You take minus 1 harm, but I get to choose from the 7 to 9 list. Yeah, I'll just go with you taking the 3 harm. That's pretty nasty. You get hit with a disruptor. Where are you hit with this disruptor?
I think I get hit in the arm, probably, because I stepped into the way. Yeah, that seems about right. Maybe shoulder or something.
Awesome. You get hit in the shoulder. It is incredibly painful. It is something that actually eats away at a good bit of your flesh on your shoulder. You're definitely going to need something like, I don't know, force healing or cybernetic shoulder. It's not good. It's not good at all. Good news, Lynn. An alarm goes off. So, Lynn, you just saw the Rhodian shoot your friend, and unfortunately, Soren is in a great deal of pain, and he is now going to try to take a shot at you. What are you doing?
Yeah, Lynn's no fighter. He's going to look for any way to duck behind cover, or I know the alarm's going off, so he's going to be looking for guards, but jumping behind anything nearby that can take the shot.
Why don't you read a situation to try to find your best way out, around, or through?
Okay, reading a situation is canny. I got a +1 in that. Here comes the roll. 9.
Awesome. And by the way, that is your 3rd XP marked. So you get to mark improvement, and I'll deselect those 3 for you. So with a 9, you get 1 question, and one of those is best way out, around, or through. So
yeah, I think that's the best way out of the shot, I suppose.
Awesome. Hide behind Xena.
Okay. Dang. Lynn didn't realize he was going to be this dastardly this soon, but Draft taught him a few things. Whether or not he knew it, Lynn was always watching, and he jumps behind somebody else, and he jumps behind Xena.
Awesome. Mato Chatsa shoots Xena Thorn and kills her. We cut away. We cut away to Valren as one of the kanji club.
Just one question before he shoots her. Can I interfere in that in any way?
You can try. If you want to act under fire to save her life, I will give you that choice.
I would like to try that. Even
All
though
right,
I
on a
die.
10 plus, you shove her out of the way and no one is hurt. On a 7 to 9, you will get hit again.
Oh, okay. I'll try, though. I'm a Jedi.
Man,
I have
you're
to.
very brave.
Yeah, I'm also very bad at rolling stuff because I think did they roll? That looked weird. I don't know that they rolled.
I trust you to roll again then. If it didn't look like it rolled, then roll.
Now I've rolled a 10. That's an 11.
Oh, nice.
And they rolled, definitely. They didn't before.
So let me ask you, did you use the force to push her out of the way?
Yes, totally.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nice. So you see her and you push both her and Lynn out of the way, and the blast goes and it hits the force shield and it kind of dissipates and everything. You see there's a tiny little hole, and then things are starting to the vacuum of space, because he just shot a disruptor in the middle of a space station that's in orbit, which is a terrible, terrible idea. This Rhodian is the worst assassin. Maybe he's some kind of religious zealot. Who knows? But we'll cut away now with a living Zeltron. Good job, Soren, as we cut to a kanji club member moving out quickly to try to take a shot at you, Valren. What do you do?
Yeah, so remind me what kanji club members look like. Are they the ones that they have the kind of cobbled together armor?
Yes. I've got a picture of Kanji Club that I will share with you in just a second.
So I think
this is Tanji Club after many years, but we're just, oh shoot, I think I gave the, oh wait, I will move it over. Sorry, boop. There we go.
yeah.
This is what Country Club dress is like.
Yeah, so I think that Valrin is basically going to, step to the side of the door and wait for whoever to come through. And if it's not Own and Leech, she's going to strike them down, pull the body out of the way, and wait for the next one.
Hot. Then those poor suckers. Let's go ahead and have you act under fire. You taken out the first one. Is just have you move back into position before the other two come out.
Perfect. Okay, that is plus cool. I have a 1 cool, but I rolled a 5.
Okay, cool. So you rolled a 5 on that. I think that you shoot the first guy, the first member of the Kanji Club. He goes down.
Oh, I used my sword.
Oh,
right. So I sliced through them.
Sweet. So that's perfect. You slice through him, but the last batch of your armor gets caught on his pauldron, and you're trying to pull and wrench it free when the other two come running out, and one takes a shot at you to harm from his blaster coming your way. So
my armor is 2.
Okay, so then just go ahead and roll plus 0 for the harm move to see if it's any worse.
I rolled an 11.
Well, fantastic. Then I think you're good. It's kind of like when Mandalorian, when he gets shot in the spot that's protected by his Beskar armor, it just glances off. And
so I think what happens, basically she swipes down and the sword gets stuck and she does that real frantic pull, and the other two kind of come out and the shot goes off and we see this sparks fly from the shoulder of the armor. Yeah.
Nice. That's hot. I love that. Sparks fly off to the shoulder of the armor, and now they're both closing around you. One is actually just, oh, well, she's got armor. I'm going to tackle her and knock her to the ground. So he's like running towards you. When you have a sword, he didn't think about this ahead of time. He's all charged up on adrenaline, not making the best decisions. We cut inside to Draft as you see Utri slide in from the back door that you decided not to go through. Draft?
Is the subject of the bounty still in the bar, or is they left as well?
Yeah, he's still in the bar. He's like watching the minions that he sent out and seeming confident. He's waiting to see if somebody is...
Yeah, in that back corner, where he can scan them. Yeah, exactly. Well, what I do is I walk up to Utri, put my hand on his shoulder, turn him straight round, and just roll the stun grenade under Leech's table.
Hot. That is very, very cool. Let's see. I think he's watching for someone to screw with him. So let's go ahead and have you act under fire, because if he catches on that you're rolling that stun grenade, he's going to take a shot at you before he gets stunned.
Okay, roll plus 1 for cool. That is a 10.
Nice. You pull it off. He did not see that coming. So Utri's like, Draff, and you roll the stun grenade, and
we go outside and poof.
That's awesome. Cool. So yeah, you go outside and biff. Valrin, you've got you killed the first one. There are 2 more who have come out. One's trying to tackle you. The other one is just trying to take another shot with his blaster. What do you do?
So I think I'm going to move to try and make sure that the guy who has a shot thinks he has an opening, and right as he's about to take the shot, I'm going to grab his buddy who came up on me and have him shoot him instead.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and have you roll. Yeah, I think let's have you roll do battle.
Okay.
So we roll do battle. We do roll. We do battle with someone, exchange harm, but first roll plus tough.
Right. So that's a 9 on my tough.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you hold 3 against them. On a miss, you hold 1, so you've got 3. And an NPC, enemy holds 2 against you on any hit, 3 against you on any miss. So that was a hit, so I hold 2. I'm going to make 2 choices. Excuse me.
And I've got my choices.
All right, I just posted mine up. What are yours?
And I've got 3, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you see mine? Yeah.
Yep. Opportunity, and seize initiative. Cool. So that means that what is your harm that you're doing? You're using your sword. So that's 3. Is that right?
It would be his blaster, right? So I assume it would be 2 from his blaster.
No. I'm trying to figure out what your harm is because you're doing opportunity, which means you.
Oh yes, I'm shooting around the guy back at the shooter. Let me say this again. I grabbed a hold of the guy who's running me and use him kind of as a shield, and I'm shooting my blaster around at the shooter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. So you've drawn your blaster after grabbing this guy to fight. Okay. So then he shoots his buddy in the back, but then the second shot is going to come through. He spent 1 for blood, so it's 3 coming towards you.
Right.
And then you opportunistically, so you effectively take out the guy who you were holding because you and his buddy took him down. Then you blasted the second guy he's fighting defensively, so he's going to take some harm from that, but it's kind of hit him center mass, so it hurt, but he's not down.
Okay.
And then I assume that the fourth and final buddy of Leech came out, and that's the second opportunistically that you were going for. So you fire him as soon as he comes out the door. You fire upon him and hit him. So that's not great. You seize initiative, which means that you get +1 hold against your enemy into the next round. You can ask or read a situation question for free with no roll, or take a quick action of any kind with free while your enemy is off balance. What would you like?
So I will. So with the seize initiative, let me make sure I understand your question.
Sure.
You're asking with the seize initiative, which of those last 3 things do I do?
Yes, seize initiative. It's under the do battle. Yeah, you get one of these because you.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to take 1 hold against the enemy into the next round.
Okay, cool. Then that's amazing. Go ahead and roll to do battle again. Droff, you make it out. You can run for the shuttle right now if you like.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No, I go back inside.
Oh, right. You drop the stun grenade near the exit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
you're doing Valorant's work for her. It's what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, I think technically now I'm in a position to claim a bounty.
Paragraph 104. It's pretty clear. Okay, great. True. Yes, you do that. You grab this bounty. Utri will help. You have a shuttle, yes, brother?
Yeah, just help me carry this unconscious thug.
I will take the feet.
No, don't go that way. We need to just take the slightly longer route round.
Yes, of course. There seems to be a fight outside.
That's why we're going the long way round, Utri. You're in enough trouble without involving ourselves in any of that.
Yes, we need to go very quickly. Sweet. So we cut back to Valren. Have you rolled with your second to battle move?
I did. I rolled an 8, and with my tough of 2, it gives me a 10.
Nice. You hold 4 against your enemy.
And how many are there now? There's 2?
There are 2. There are just 2 left. Oh, you did not fight defensively.
I did not.
So sorry. Let me roll back just enough to have you roll another harm move.
Oh, you're right.
Harm +1 because they did a +1 on the blood. So
yeah.
You're
so I got
1 harm.
Yep, I got an 8 on that harm move.
Okay. Do you want to? The MC chooses 1, so you don't want to. I think you're going to lose track of Droff and Utri and your target leaving.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So second to battle, you rolled a 10. That still counts. But do go ahead and give yourself. You're at 3 o'clock. and that means you get 4 against your enemy and an extra hold. No, you spend it to seize initiative to get 1 hold against your enemy into the next round, so the battle continues. So you get 5.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, I know what they're gonna go.
Okay,
so I'll just do my 2. I do blood and defensive again. So
okay, and I did blood, and then opportune to attack both of them.
What does it look like when you take them both down? You get shot once.
Yeah.
But that's, there's no way they can withstand that onslaught. What's it look like?
So I think it's, the guy comes out, gets kind of shot in the last round. He gets shot kind of in the shoulder and spins around a little bit. And as he spins, I pull off 2 more shots while he's kind of spinning and under control. But that's close enough that this guy here can like pull out a knife and get it under my armor, right? And that's whenever I pull out my vibro knife and kind of go through his armor.
Ooh, vicious.
And he kind of, looks a little surprised and then drops. So you did blood again, so that's 1 more harm to me. So I rolled a harm move again. And that time I rolled an 8 + 1 is 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm gonna go with there's just so much pain and so much going on that you lose your footing. Like you go down with him at this point. It may not be the worst thing in the world, but we'll see how it is. There are people coming out of the cantina now, members of the church who are armed, and they are not happy that there's a fight on their doorstep because this is a holy place. Draf, you have this person, but you see that there are people who are coming outside. You've kind of slipped in behind them, but they are members of the church. They are the high upright armed clergy.
And are they going to be a problem for me?
Not until they notice that you're basically running away with someone unconscious. But right now they're more worried about the huge bloody fight in the front door.
Exactly. So it's logical for me to shout over my shoulder at them, "I've got one of the wounded out. There's a hell of a rack going on in there."
That's awesome. Let's see if you deceive them.
So roll plus suave. Oh, 8.
That's not the best. I mean,
No.
you've done better. You've had better days. On a 7 to 9, if they don't want to go along with you or call you out, they can choose to ask for evidence, a time, a compromise. Yeah, one of them who's like slipped down this face mask. He says, "Don't move," and that's his command to you. But he's turned his attention back to Valren. You're not going to be able to sink your way past them. You're going to have to go out the back door, which you know exactly where it is. So
I bet I will, of course.
All right, awesome. So you can make your way towards the shuttle. Valren, a couple members of the high upright armed clergy have told you to stand down. What do you do?
So since I held 5, one of the things I did in the last round was I seized a knit, and I'm going to use that as a question for Rita Sitch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's my best way out?
Your best way out is to just pick up and run. These guys are in bulky armor with blaster rifles that are more ornamental than pragmatic. They shoot like stormtroopers.
Do I know enough that whenever I stepped into the cantina, do I know where the back door is?
Yeah. I mean, you always got your eyes on the exits. You're a bounty hunter.
Yeah. So, man, everything's gotten carked here, and I'm not sure. I have to grab that. I have to grab that bounty, and I'm totally hosed up. Drafts, meetup.
I know.
But I think there's too many of them right there at the opening for me to do anything. So I think I'm going to run off. I'm just going to turn around and beat feet and make my way back towards the back of the cantina to see if, I can peek in there and see that Droft's okay and that there isn't anyone.
Awesome.
That the target isn't still there. Yeah.
So I'm now going to pay homage to J.J. Abrams as you run around and Draf is running with Utri carrying your prey, and then they run past you, and so you guys are running off towards the shuttle. And if it's okay, since we're near end of time, you guys board the shuttle quickly. You're taking off, and you're on your way towards the space station when you hear a young voice say, "I've never been on a shuttle quite this interesting." So we cut to the space station for our kind of closing shot with Soren Dahl and Lynn Lenid. Soren, you saved Lynn's life, and also the Zeltrons. This Rhodian, at this point, you see that he sees, he's facing too many people of opposition, and he pulls out a thermal detonator and clicks the button, and that's where we end tonight's session. Cool. So we have end of session stuff to do at the session end. At the end of every session, choose a character who knows you better than they used to. If there's more than one, choose one at your whim. Tell that player to add +1 to their HX with you on their, character sheet, part of the keeper. That brings them to an HX +4. You mark improvement, not an XP, but a full improvement, and you reset to HX with that person. If no one knows you better, then you just tell whoever doesn't know you as well as they thought, and they will take a -1 to their HX with you on their sheet. By sheet, I mean keeper. So, Sabine, since you have the most recent experience with this, we'll have you go first.
Oh, wow. Someone who knows me better, I think that would be Lynn, because, he should know now that I'm not just worried about the whole Jedi thing stuff, because that I will do stuff.
Cool. All right. So then, Lynn, you mark a +1 with Soren. Add +1 more to your HX with Soren. Lynn, who knows you better?
I think it's got to be Soren. Soren just saw me, perhaps at my weakest, diving behind another person to avoid fire. It's got to be Lynn. It's got to be Soren. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that HX goes to 0 then, right? Because I have -1.
Wonderful. Yes. Love a 0.
That's awesome. And then Valren, who knows you better?
Well, this has to be Draft, right? He knows how to anticipate my moves before I do. Yeah.
Nice. And then Draft, who knows you better?
I think that Valren begins to see that, understands more of my my modus operandi and my character than previously. So I get an extra 1 on Valren. He gets an extra 1, or she gets an extra 1 on me.
Yep. You guys are getting tighter, closer. I can feel the love until the betrayal happens later. This is great. Cool. We are at time. If anyone needs to go, please go ahead. I totally respect your time. If you've got a few minutes, I would love to have some feedback on this burned over Star Wars hack. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this YouTube recording, and then we'll do the feedback still talking, and I'm going to record that through a different method so that I can more easily share it with William, who I co-created this with. So I'll start the game session here. We'll see you guys in a week.